Well, hello everybody. Is Thursday, November 11, Veterans Day. But I work in retail, so I have to go to work today. Um, so yeah. Um, Unfortunately, to me, it's not a holiday because in retail and in this capitalistic culture that we live, holiday is a day to go to do a Veterans Day sales. That's how we celebrate the veterans in retail. We make a sale in honor of them. Go figure why. Um, so, yeah. And if you're a veteran, congratulations. Thank you for your service. My grandfather was a veteran. He was in the Air Force. He was in the Korean War. Yeah, and he was a sergeant in the Air Force. So, like I said, if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. And I hope that you have a good day today. Hopefully you don't have to go to work, unlike me. So yeah. So yeah, having said that, yesterday, like I said, yesterday I did very little. To be my day off, I was like hoping I could do a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do, but no, I didn't do a lot, honestly. Went down to Albany, pick up a comic book, a dice set, and that's about it. The day was gone after that, which is quite sad in all honesty. Like, and I know Saturday I had to take my car to inspection because it needs to be inspected this month. So I just hope that I don't have anything else to fix in the car to make it pass inspection. If it doesn't pass inspection, I'll have to fix whatever it is and then take it back to inspection. But I don't know. I just hope I don't have to spend more money on this car. I cannot afford spending a lot of money on this car. If something is broken, I'll have to figure out a way to fix it. And I just don't have savings to be able to afford an expensive bill for this car if I have to replace something that is expensive. Of course, I would try to do it myself, but like if it's something that is going to be too complicated, I may just have to pass and take it to an automotive technician, to a mechanic to be able to fix the part, because I may not have some of the tools. But I just hope that that is not the case. But I better be ready for anything. This car is already like, I got it in 2015, so it's already 6 years old. So yeah, it's getting to the end of the lifetime, and I really need to consider what I'm going to do after I get to the end of life of this car. Whether I'm going to get a new car. Which I think it would be a good idea to get another car, but like I don't want to get into another loan with a car. Like, this is a thing that I don't like about our society. Like, for example, buying a house is not technically buying a house. Buying a house, you take a loan. Unless you are a person that has a lot of money and you pay up front for the house, you are not buying the house. You are taking a loan. You are having money given to you so that way you can purchase the house, but you have to repay that money back. So a house is not something you buy, it's something that you take credit for that. So it's not yours until you pay that loan off. So a lot of people say I bought a house, but in reality you didn't buy a house, you took a loan. Like if somebody can afford 100,000 or more for a house, then you buy a house. But if you can't afford it and you have to take a loan, you are not buying a house, you are taking a loan. Same goes for a car. When you say you bought a car, you don't buy a car unless you pay all the money that the cost of the car has. You cannot say you bought a car because you are getting a loan. So you are taking a credit to pay for something that eventually will be yours after you pay for it. So that's why I'm like kind of like skeptical about saying that I'm going to buy a car, because I'm not going to buy a car. I'm probably going to take a loan, and I don't like taking loans because you have to repay the loans back, which means that I end up with more debt. And for me, it's inconvenient because I have said in other videos, I got into debt by going to school, and those are loans that I also have to repay. So to me, it's not convenient to have a lot of like loans. Is the reason why I don't have a house. No, one, I don't need a house. I'm a single person. Why would I want to get into debt to have a house? Plus, the house is a lifelong commitment, so pretty much I'm stuck in that debt unless I can sell it back again. But I'm stuck in a loan debt for the rest of my life. So like, I personally, that's why I don't think getting a house is a good idea. I'd rather rent. It gives me more mobility. I don't have to pay money for a loan and then get stuck with a loan. A car is a little bit different, but at the same time, it's still money that goes into me paying a debt, and that's why I try to avoid getting. If I would have known that I would have had the interest rate that I got for this car, I would have gone for a cheaper option back when I got this car. And that's the thing that I'm going to try to do after this car is paid off. And if I need to get another car, I would try to go for a cheaper alternative, so that way I don't have to take a lot of debt for a car. So yeah. So just making things clear in case anybody was wondering. I think it's like when people say they purchase a house, no, they didn't purchase it. If they took a loan, they took a loan to pay for the house, so they are in debt. You just went in debt to get a house. So you didn't buy the house, you got a loan. They give you a loan that you have to repay back. So it's not your house. The bank can still take possession of that, and that's why people get surprised. It's not your house. It's a loan. You took a loan. The bank is the one that is the owner of the house until you pay that loan back. And so that's why I think it's a bad deal. Like for somebody like me getting a house, like even though I wish I could have a house because I feel like I will have more space and all that kind of stuff, for somebody like me, having a house is a bad idea. So I prefer to rent. It gives me more mobility. I'm not attached with a big debt to one place, even though I have student loan debt. Student loan debt and are close to the same magnitude as the cost of a house. My federal loans are in the range of like $96,000, which is an insane amount of student loan to have. And I'm honestly concerned that I'm only working at a Walmart right now. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to pay that back. I really don't. And that was at counting the $55,000 that I owe in private student loan. And private student loans, those went into default because I couldn't afford the repayment options. They don't have repayment options like federal loans. Federal loans, they can give you repayment options based on your income. Private student loans, they don't have that option, and that's how I ended up getting into defaulting, because they wanted me to pay like an extra $400 or something a month, and at the time that I was they were trying to do that, I had lost my job, so my income went down, and I didn't have the amount of money to be able to pay like $450 a month for a private loan without sacrificing me paying rent and all other stuff that I need to live. So that's something that has me worried, and I don't know. Again, I don't know how I'm going to be able to repay back because I barely making ends meet. And then today I heard that this is the highest inflation in 31 years, which doesn't make me feel safer, doesn't make me feel more comfortable, And the part that sucks is just having a job that pays me enough to survive, but it doesn't pay me enough to be able to save and do other things that I would like to do. And I just question the purpose of me having a higher level of education, in all honesty. It's like it makes me rethink the things that I did in life, and that is the biggest blunder that I have right now. Because if I have known things were going to end this way, I would have gone through a different major, and most likely maybe even gone, instead of going through to school, I would have gone through a trade school. But we didn't have many trade schools in Puerto Rico back when I graduated high school, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have really gone into something else instead of having gone through the education that I went through. So I feel like definitely there could have been something, I could have done something different instead of getting into too much student debt. And I mean, at this point, there's very little I can do. I mean, I was trying to go to school, get into automotive management program, which I'm learning, taking automotive classes, but also I have the business aspect of it. So it's to me become a manager of a automotive shop, you know. And unfortunately, I don't think I can afford going back because it's expensive to go to school. Plus, I have to sacrifice the time that I have to go to school. I have to sacrifice it when it comes to me working, so my income will be lower. So I won't be able to afford the rent in the current apartment that I'm in. So I may have to find a cheaper option if I want to go back to school. And unfortunately, that's a problem that I've been having to get back into school. It's like I don't have the amount of money to be able to go back to school. It's just, I don't know. Life regrets, you know, life regrets. So yeah, I also put an application again because my girlfriend is moving out. I have to find somebody else to take his place. So I ended up applying again for my same apartment. So I just hope that I get the apartment approved. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, I know that my income is it's low. So like, if the other person that I'm hoping they can move into the apartment, they cannot afford it, or if they are earning less than me, I will be in a very tough position because I don't have a lot of money to pay for the apartment. Like right now, if I want to stay in the apartment, it will be about half my income. Half my take-home pay will go into paying for that apartment alone if I stay alone in there. So it's something that I really cannot afford, especially when they tell you that your rent should be 1/3 of your income. And I don't know who came up with that rule. I feel like rent should be less than that. 1/3 of your income is still a little bit high, in my opinion. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. But when you do the math of like how much money people need to have in order to be able to afford 1/3 of an income, for example, a $1,000 apartment, so you need to have at least $3,000 of take-home pay to be able to afford an apartment that costs $1,000, you know. And right now I'm not in that position, you know, and I don't want to put myself in a bad position financially because of an apartment. But like, it just sucks the fact that employers, they even try to justify the wages that they give you by making them seem like, oh, it's an easy job and whatever. Yeah. And they don't. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, honestly, because the cost of living here is so expensive. Like, I don't like when employers try to give you very little money, and knowing the cost of rent here, of living in New York City, is highly expensive, and then when you add the inflation, it's more expensive, and they still want to give you wages that are just like detrimental. That it's like, why do I want to work in the first place if I'm not going to even afford the basic necessities with the income that I'm getting, you know? So that's just my opinion. But yeah, that has me concerned a little bit with the apartment. I just hope I get approved to stay there. If not, I will have to find a new place to move, and that's going to add more stress to my life, and that is something that I don't feel like I need right now. But I don't know. I mean, finding a place to live always stresses me out. Every time that I come to a point where I have to move or find a new place to live, it always stresses me out, and I don't know what I can do to remove that stress, but like it's just like having bad experiences before. It's just like, oh gosh, where I'm going to end up. Hope that I don't get into a bad place either. So it's really tough. It's really tough. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe. Wear a mask if you are vaccinated or unvaccinated. But hopefully we'll get over this pandemic soon. So yeah. Bye, everybody.